back this week with Coach Halliday, and with him is Rion Thompson. Rion, if you haven't heard, broke the all-time leading Spartan scoring record the other night. Rion, you went into that game needing 31. I think most people thought we'd be showing up here tonight to see you break that record. Then you scored 35. But tell us about that game, and did you think you were going to get it that night?
Well, I know I needed 31 points, but I didn't go into the game trying to hurry up and score 31 points. I just let the game flow, and however it went, that's just how it went. I wanted to get the win, of course, but getting the scoring record with that as well was a great day.
Coach, at what point do you think, oh boy, it's going to happen tonight?
And I didn't really know, you know what I mean? Because when we played Fremont here, we won pretty handily, and I think she only maybe had 18 or 20 that game. And so I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't even sure if we were going to need her to score 31. I didn't talk to her about kind of what her mindset was on it. I just let it go. She said she didn't want to talk about it, so I just respected that. We were just going to go up there and play. I never mentioned it to anybody. We just went up there and did our thing. But I could tell early on, I thought she was a little more aggressive than maybe some other times. And with the flow of the game, it was a real close game, especially in the first half. And they had a real nice student section that was kind of egging her on the whole night, chanting at her, and I think that kind of fueled her a little bit. And they were doing kind of the same stuff with Essence. So it was a really nice atmosphere for a high school game. And as it turned out, we needed every bit of those 35 points. And so it was. And Fremont did it the right way. They announced it. They presented her with the game ball afterwards. So I appreciate how they treated us or treated her when she achieved the accomplishment.
How did it feel when you hit that shot to take over?
It was amazing. It was finally over with. It was happy seeing the fans that we did have there, and then the coaching and teammates just being in that environment. It felt amazing.
No, you were here 2 years ago when India did this. What were you thinking back then when you saw that happen to her? Were you in your head? Were you thinking, I'm gonna beat that?
I honestly didn't know what the record was, but I just seen how happy she was and how happy everybody was for her. And I just seen how happy she was, so I wanted to feel that way one time. So.
Have you talked to her since you broke the record?
Not really. She congratulated me on Facebook, but we probably talk in the future. I think she has a game coming up.
I know this Saturday they're going to introduce you at the boys' game. It'll be a huge crowd, of course. How do you think that's going to feel for you to sort of be out there with everyone cheering for you and just having this kind of accomplishment behind you?
It's probably going to feel the same way it did the night I broke the record. I was still amazed and shocked. It didn't really sink in until I got home, and I was probably up to 1 in the morning thinking about it and stuff like that. So.
Coach, talk a little bit about Rion and her place on this team, and how many points do you think she's going to score before this is all over this season? Well,
I think the great thing about Rion is that, she's averaged 20 points a game for this is the third year in a row. And as a sophomore, I don't know how you quietly average 20 a game, but she kind of did because, India was our focus at that time. And then last year, and I think the last 2 years, really, it's been a lot. I think she would say it's been a lot harder to average those because she's been the focal point of our team. Everyone comes into the gym, we got to stop, we got to try to stop Rion. We got to try to stop 23. And her game's expanded. As a sophomore, she averaged 20, and it was a lot of catch and shoot, and it was a lot of easy drives to the basket. Now she's getting double teamed, sometimes triple teamed. She's expanded her game, putting the ball on the floor more. And even here lately, probably the last 7 or 8 games, we've been posting her up a lot because how much they're overplaying her. And she's gotten stronger by putting in the work in the weight room, so now she can go down the paint and get points in there as well. As far as how many points she's going to score, we have a minimum of 8 games to go. So she could really, as far as I'm concerned, she could put this number out of reach. Maybe, if we get on a nice little tournament run here, if we can win 3-4 games, which is possible, she may be able to get to 2,000. That's a pretty big number. She's going to have to really score the ball at a high rate, but I don't think it's impossible. But this number is going to be pretty high.
At what point in Rion's career, middle school or freshman, did you realize that this was going to be a special player who's going to do something?
Well, the first time I saw her, she came during the summer, I think before her 8th grade year. And I was kind of asking about her, and I know she wasn't in the city school system at that time. And that's when I met her mom and dad, and I was like, man, I was really impressed with what I saw in the summer. I was like, I hope she comes here, because I didn't really know. And they're like, oh yeah, she's going to come. And so when she came as a freshman, I knew she had just the natural talent. As far as the development of the game, I've been pleasantly surprised.
Rion, you ever committed to go to Bowling Green next year and play Talk a little bit about that decision and the process of being recruited and making the decision to go with the Falcons.
It was it was like a tough decision, getting recruited by most of the MAC schools. BG really stood out to me. You know, when they would call and talk to me, I would talk to the head coach every time, every single coach on the coaching staff. So I built a strong relationship with every single one of those coaches, and it was kind of hard to say no to them.
What's coming up, Coach, for the season, your next couple weeks of games for you guys?
Sure. I mean, tonight we have Whitmer, which is a league game. And, you know, they beat us pretty bad. We didn't perform real well at their place. So we're hoping to reverse the fortune. As far as that goes, you know, Saturday morning we have Elida. Monday we have Salina. So it's kind of fun. This is the kind of year where, you know, you're playing every other day. So you play a game, you work your butt off, you come in for an hour, get a little sweat in, talk about the opponent, then you go and play again. So we need to, you know, we got 7 games to go in this regular season. We want to finish out real strong, get ourselves positioned in the postseason, and make a little run.